feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you on this Thursday night? It is good to see you all. I wish I had some better news for you all regarding the 85-year-old man who was kidnapped in Sydney, but it seems like I don't. Yesterday afternoon, they conducted a raid trying to rescue him, and it happened in Dural in New South Wales, in Sydney, and they raided this property, and he wasn't there. They really thought it was him, and yeah, got to the property, and uh, Chris was not there, and they raided it, did the forensic thing, and now police are saying that they believe hope is fading in trying to find the 85-year-old man. Hope is now fading. That is a very awful thing to have to say as a police officer, that they believe hope is fading. I don't like that. I mean, today marks 1 week since he went missing, and there's his photo, Chris Bagsarian, and they raided this local property. So there's a little map. Dural is out here. There's Sydney. He was kidnapped from North Ryde. That's where he lives, and they raided this property out in Dural, hoping that they would be able to locate him, and they weren't able to. He wasn't there. I don't know what that means, but their intelligence that they were working off, obviously, it's not a good thing. I mean, I'm guessing that they thought, hey, we're going to go there, we're going to kick down their door, and we're going to take this man back to his family. And yeah, unfortunately, it did not work out. That is very sad to me. I don't know where he could be then. Is it possible that, heaven forbid, that they already killed him and they already got rid of him? Were the cops too late to the property? And you may go, Ping, I've heard you say that town name before. Dural. Yeah, we spoke about it last year. About this time last year, they found a caravan there that was full of explosives. Do you remember that? There was a caravan and they found it was full of explosives. That was in Dural too. They also raided some properties in that area that were linked to organized crime. So it's had this sort of background into organized crime for a while now, and then this year we have this mistaken identity kidnap happen, and the property that they raid was out in Dural. So very, very strange. I hope they find him. You can see, look at this property here. I'll show you this photo. Look at this. Look how much security stuff this property has. Look at this. Look at all these like cameras and lights, and I don't know what else is his things to open the gate. It's like the property they raided, it's like heavily fortified, and a lot of security and things like that. Interesting, right? A lot of like, you can see a cop there trying to probably work out how to open it or something. And then it says, danger, guard dogs. So not only did they have the security, they also had guard dogs guarding the property. So yeah, I wish I had some better news about him. There is a press conference. I want to take you there with the police, and I want you to hear what they had to say about the raid I'll take you there in a minute. I just want to say hi to everyone. How you all doing on this Thursday night? Hope you're all having a great night. It's a good Thursday. Not a lot on Nancy Guthrie though. I think that I told you a few days ago that the media cycle was slowing down. It is definitely slow now. Updates are hours in between now, maybe a few times a day. It's really grinding to a halt now. One more update while we're here. And I had a few emails about the trial for Samantha Murphy that we're going to in April, and people were like, "Is your show going to be late again at night, like 8 o'clock at night?" And I said, "Yes." And they were saying, "Well, that's in the middle of the night for Americans." And I was like, "Yes, that was the same problem that we had last year." They were suggesting that we should have a way to communicate during the day while I'm at court. So, I'll tell you this is what we're going to do. For the people who support the channel, I am going to set up a either a Discord or a WhatsApp group, and you will get live updates throughout the court day. So before the news sites even get it, you will get it in the group. So if you're one of the nice people who supports the channel on that, you will be invited to the group, and you will get text-based updates throughout the day until we do the podcast in the evening. So yeah, thank you to that person who emailed me and told me that that might be a good way to do that. I think that would have been good to have for the Aaron Patterson trial. That would have been really cool to be able to do that for you guys. So that's what we're going to do for this upcoming one. So people who can't stay up until whatever time I get home, you'll be able to at least keep glued in throughout the evening, throughout the day, wherever you are. All right, here we go. Press conference after they raided that property in Dural looking for grandfather Chris Bagzarian, and not good. None of it's good news. None of it. By the way, this is from ABC News in Australia.
Okay, thank you, everyone. My name is Detective Chief Inspector Andrew Marks. I'm the Acting Commander of the Robbery and Serious Crime Squad. We're here today to update you on the kidnapping of Mr. Bagzarian. Mr. Bagzarian was taken at 5 o'clock last Friday from his North Ryde address, and he hasn't been seen or heard of since. We've had a significant progression in the investigation, whereby we believe we have found the location where Mr. Bagzarian was kept for some time. That location is in Wildthorn Avenue, Dural. Police yesterday afternoon were able to identify that location, and a quick search of the property did not locate Mr. Bagzarian. What we did locate was evidence to suggest that Mr. Bagzarian was held there at some stage during the last 7 days. Today we're appealing for the people of Dural, not just in Wildthorn Street or Wildthorn Avenue, but the greater area of Dural. Have you seen something over the last 7 days? It's been 7 days since Mr.
So did you all catch that? Did you hear what he said? He said their intelligence led them to that property, and when they raided it, thinking that Chris Bagzarian would be there, he wasn't, but they found evidence that he had been there at some point in the last 7 days. So they missed it. They missed the opportunity to find him, but it could have been by hours. By hours, they missed the opportunity to find the 85-year-old man. That must not feel good for anyone involved. That is horrible. That must feel like it slipped through your fingers. Like you really you're that close by inches. And it basically means they're now at square one. They have to go back to square one, and then start the intelligence all over again to find out where they might have moved him. Where did they take him after the property in Dural? So that's awful.
Bagzarian was taken. Have you seen people that were coming and going from that address? The address of Wildthorn Avenue, Dural, is a vacated and derelict house. Nobody lives there. It's back from the street and you can't see it from the street. Nobody residing there. So have you seen people coming and going from that address that does not fit that location, does not fit that area? Even in the greater area of Dural, have you seen people coming and going that don't fit that area or look suspicious to you? Please contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Even if it is the most insignificant information that you think, let us be the judge of that, and we will take that information and we'll investigate that thoroughly. What we're also asking is that of members of the public, have you heard anything? We're asking that if you have any information for those responsible, please, again, ring Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000, and it will remain anonymous, and let us work on the information that you have. I'm open for questions.
What led you to that property?
Police have been working around the clock. So police from the Robbery and Serious Crime Squad, assisted by the Northwest region and also the Southwest region, have been working around the clock, and we've been following a trail of evidence that we believe identifies or implicates people that may be involved. We've used those leads, and along with information that we received from the community, it led us to the Dural area. And what I can say is that some good old-fashioned police work with boots on the ground identified that location. It was a suspicious house amongst other property that in that area that led us to that area, that led us to that premises.
What have you found inside the premises?
So inside that premises, what we have located, as we were aware and we discussed at the last press conference, there are some images and videos that have been circulating that are just distressing viewing. But what we have found from that is that those images and that video, we have found evidence that is consistent to being the premises where Mr. Bagzarian was kept.
Have you found a severed finger in that property?
I'm not going to comment on anything along those lines, but yeah, I won't make any comment on that.
Are police also searching around the outside of the property as well?
Yes, we are. We haven't found Mr. Bagzarian, and that's our main focus, to recover Mr. Bagzarian and bring him home safely to his family.
And you have to ask why, if this whole time is not the guy they wanted to take, why would they hold on to him for so long? Like, there's been no ransom demand. There's been no reaching out to his family. They haven't asked for anything. What on earth would make you keep this 85-year-old man and then torture him? So if you didn't see that, the other day there was a video and some photos going around of Mr. Bagzarian looking like he had been beat up, a finger cut off, that they had severed a finger from his hand, and the floor below him in the photo was drenched in blood. So it doesn't look good. It you know, why they felt the need to do this to this old man, it is really horrific. And you just go, that could be anyone's granddad. It could be anyone's granddad, you know, sitting in his home, enjoying his retirement, and some people break in the middle of the night and get the wrong guy. And here we are today. Cops thought they had the home, raided it, went there, wrong place. Not the wrong place, right place, but wrong time. That he had already been moved from that property. So now they've got to try and find out, where did they take him after being in Dural?
and to get him the medical treatment that he requires. So we are not just searching the house, we're investigating the house now, and we're examining that house for leads in relation to those responsible. Also, part of the investigation is obviously to recover Mr. Bagdarian safely, and we are searching the area. As you know, that area of Dural is semi-rural, so we're searching that area just to see if Mr. Bagdarian is there.
I mean, having found what you found at the property, do you think it's likely that he's still alive?
It's been 7 days now, so hope is fading. We have grave concerns for his safety, but we won't give up trying to find him alive.
Did you speak with his family yesterday?
Yes, we did.
And how are they going during this time?
As you can imagine, 85-year-old Mr. Bagdarian, his family, this is not their world that they live in. It's taken them by shock. They're anxious. They're devastated, and they want some answers. And that's what we're here today, to try and get them more answers.
When you hear a cop in a public press conference tell you that hope is fading, that's a very strong message from the police. And it could be that something in that home told them that Chris Bagdarian might not be alive anymore. And those photos that were doing the rounds, the blood loss and the blood that was on the floor, very different from Nancy Guthrie. Guthrie's one was just drops of blood. This one for Chris Bagdarian on the floor, it looked like pools of blood, like a lot of blood loss. And yeah, it's really sad. I have a really bad feeling they're gonna find this man in a shallow grave somewhere. And I hate to be so downcast, but it seems like that's what these people would do. They would just get rid of him, dump him, and hope that they can't be linked to them. All right, let's keep going.
We are making inroads into this investigation, and we really want to find Mr. Bagdarian for them.
How is it possible that you found the home but there was no one inside? I guess looking at typical kidnappings from the past, it's not usual for them to leave. It's too risky for them even to leave that property. So do you think they've relocated? What do you think has happened to you?
It's a very difficult question to answer. Each kidnapping case on their own are different. The offenders are different. The mindset of those people are different. I don't know why they have left there. I don't know why Mr. Bagdarian is not there, other than to say that we're hopeful that we can gain more evidence to identify those responsible, and also gain some information as to the location of Mr. Bagdarian.
When do you think they will last at the property?
Again, I can't answer that question because we don't know, other than to say that they were there at some stage in the last 7 days.
It's a vacant property. Was there furniture or anything like that inside?
Again, there's a crime scene warrant being executed as we speak, so I'm not going to go into the details of what's inside, but suffice to say that it is a vacant premises.
And no formal ransom demands have been made yet?
Mr. Bagdarian's family have not received a ransom. And again, I was fairly strong in my wording earlier this week in relation to the kidnappers have got the wrong person.
Have police spoken to neighbours? Did they see your here?
We're in the process of speaking to neighbours, and again, that area and the wider area of Dural. So we are out there, the police are out there. So if you are able to speak to the police, if you see them there, please approach them if you have any information, no matter how small you think it is. We're also appealing to those that may have dash cam in the area. If you can view your dash cam and then contact police to say whether you've got some information that may be of assistance to us.
So I wonder what they think. Do they think these people have any connection to this property? Or did they find a property that was empty and then decide to break in and use it to hold a hostage? I'll take you out there in a minute. Actually, I'll take you out there now. Obviously they don't give out details of what street number it is, but this is a street here Wildthorn Avenue. And as you can see, it's not a very long street. There's a few homes on the street. It starts here from Wyoming Road. There's one here. A lot of them, like you can see, a lot of them are quite big homes, got tennis courts and pools, and they look like little mansions that like famous people might live in. And then there's a couple others, and I don't want to give the wrong property. I don't know if it's this one here, and I don't want to like, you know, have some elderly couple then be targeted, but they said it was a property that was not being used at the time. So I don't know which. There are some photos. Hold on. We might be able to tell from the photos. Yeah, let me have a look. Might be able to just tell if we can get like an overhead thing. No. Uh-huh. I think it might be that property that we're looking at. If I can get to my other thing here. Channel 7 had an
There's a
overhead view. Let me have a look. Let's go down.
Find him. And then last night they...
Okay, let's go further. Okay, it looks like that. I think it might be the property that we were looking at. I think it might be this one. Yeah, let me look. I think it is that one. I think it was, is it? I think it's, yeah, I definitely think it's the one we were looking at. If you go out the back, it looks like that. All right. Yeah, I think it is this one. I think it's this property right here, the one we were looking at. This one. It has the same little bit here with the circle. So this is the property that he was being held at on Wildthorn Avenue in Dural. How they knew about this property or how they knew it was vacant, I don't know. But it's pretty creepy. If they had no connection to that property, then how did they know about it? How did they know they could break in and keep someone there? It's very, very strange. Yeah, let me go back. Let's see if we can watch this one from Channel 7 about the property. Because I would... Yeah.
There's a breakthrough for police desperately searching for an elderly Sydney man abducted in a case of mistaken identity. Sam Payne joins us live this afternoon. Sam, police have raided an isolated property at Dural today. That's in Sydney's northwest. What have they found?
Yeah, good afternoon, Sally. Well, they found what they believe is a place where 85-year-old Chris Bagzarian was being held for at least some point in time. Now, that 85-year-old grandfather was kidnapped last Friday from North Ryde at 5 a.m. And since then, it's been a race against time to try and find him. And then last night, they raided a property here in Dural, northwestern Sydney. Going inside, and it's understood they were able to link kidnapping videos that were circulating throughout the underworld earlier this week to features inside this house. Now, all morning they've been bringing out bags of evidence, a piece of carpet. We've seen a line search from a riot squad in the bushland surrounds. We've seen a sniffer dog as well as forensics. Now, Chief Detective Inspector Andrew Marks spoke at a press conference earlier today urging the public for their assistance.
Yeah, I think they think he's been dumped. That's why they're doing a line search and things like that at the back of that property. If we go here, yeah, number 10. So it's number 10, Wildthorn Avenue. That is the property that they are looking at. Because if you zoom out, there is no other property that matches that description or that shape in the street at all. It's the only one that looks like that. If you look at all the other homes, none of them look like this. And this one matches it perfectly. There's the clothesline right there. There's that weird feature of concrete with the circle. Had that in the video too. And there's that back shed that you could see in that video as well. So it's this one right here. I wonder if we go to the street level, can we see anything from the road? No, it's very hard to see. Can't really see anything from there. Yeah, it's too far up the driveway. All right, let me just put you guys here. Let's go back. Yeah, so we can't see anything from the outside, unfortunately. But as you could see, though, from that road view, it's very well hidden. It's not like anyone would see you, especially where they were looking in this back area. It's very well concealed from that road. And when you zoom out, there's a lot of bushland surrounding it. Look at this. There's a lot of trees encapsulating that property. So you would have pretty good noise protection from your neighbors. Like, look that you got a whole forest between you and the back neighbors here, and then you've got a line of thick trees here between this neighbor and the one that's sort of further down here. So it's almost the perfect property to do that, because I don't think anyone's going to hear you do anything. And then your closest one is probably the people that live here in this red home. They may have seen something, they may have not. They may have cameras. Looks like a pretty nice property. I'm guessing they probably have CCTV cameras. Maybe they'll get a vehicle or something they could track down of who was going in and out of this property over the last week. So Gayla said they do not normally use fire to destroy any evidence. I don't know what they're going to use to do this, but as of right now, they have not been able to find him. And that press conference that I showed you before, that was only a few hours ago. So, yeah, let's see if we can go back to it from New South Wales Police.
At the last press conference, there are some images and videos that have been circulating that are just distressing viewing. But what we have found from that is that those images and that video, we have found evidence that is consistent to being the premises where Mr. Bagzarian was kept.
Have you found a severed finger in that property?
I'm not going to comment on anything along those lines, but yeah, I won't make any comment on that.
Are police also searching around the outside of the property as well?
Yes, we are. We haven't found Mr. Bagzarian, and that's our main focus.
You found at the property. Do you think it's likely he's still alive?
It's been 7 days now, so
What do you think has happened to him?
it's a very difficult question to answer. Each kidnapping case on their own are different. The offenders are different. The mindset of those people are different. I don't know why they have left there. I don't know why Mr. Bagzarian is not there, other than to say that we're hopeful that we can gain more evidence to identify those responsible, and also gain some information as to the location of Mr. Bagzarian.
When do you think they were last at the property?
Again, I can't answer that question because we don't know, other than to say that they were there at some stage in the last 7 days.
It's a vacant property. Was there furniture or anything like that inside?
Again, there's a crime scene warrant being executed as we speak, so I'm not going to go into the details of what's inside, but suffice to say that it is a vacant premises.
So there you go. You know, it's an interesting comparison to Nancy Guthrie, because you basically have two kidnappings on the opposite side of the world, but under similar circumstances. Someone broke into a home in the middle of the night and took a elderly person, and they're both missing. This one seems like they are making some headway, but like in Arizona, in the Arizona one, they've raided a few properties too. They have also come up empty-handed. In New South Wales, they raided that property yesterday, came up empty-handed. I think in this particular one, though, they have a better idea of who might be involved. I think in the one in Arizona, they really don't have any idea who is involved in it, which is really concerning. We're about to go into week 4 next week, and we're still no closer to finding Nancy Guthrie than we were 3 weeks ago. Nothing. So, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it, but that is the update today. They raided that property in Dural. They were hoping to find Chris at the location, but by the time they got there, the kidnappers had already departed the location and the victim was not at the property. We'll have to see what they do next and what they found at that property. Is there any video, CCTV? Is there any biological evidence that might be able to help them? But today, Friday, marks a week since Chris was kidnapped. So he has now been gone from his home and family for a week, and so far they haven't been able to bring him home. So that is you know, I'm sure that was a big letdown to authorities. I reckon they went there ready to raid the property, thinking that he might be there, and then they came up empty-handed. So really, really awful. If I get any more updates on Chris, I will let you know, but it's not looking very good. Juicy said evidence held at play almost saved him. Almost. Missed it by like minutes. It could have been minutes or an hour. It could have been half a day. Something spooked them off though. And I don't know what it was. Maybe the cops were surveillancing the property. Maybe they caught on to it. It's a possibility that maybe the authorities flew a helicopter over it, trying to use the infrared to try and see how many people were inside of the property. And maybe they caught wind of it. Maybe there were police that were parked in the street trying to do surveillance, and maybe it spooked them. It could have been all sorts of things. Callie Girl said maybe they have a man on the force. It seems pretty intuitive that, you know, the cops figure out where those videos were filmed, they track down the location, and they get there and they're gone. It's it's concerning. It's almost like they somehow knew. It's almost like they knew they were coming. So, yeah, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Let me take you out to another update. It was only a couple of hours ago.
Have zeroed in on a semi-rural property on Sydney's Fringe in the hunt for mistakenly kidnapped grandfather Chris Bagzarian. Detectives have set up a crime scene at what they believe Mr. Bagzarian's captors used as their base. With more, we're joined by reporter Gavin Coote in Sydney. Hi there, Gavin. Tell us more about this property.
Good morning, Lorna. Well, police say they've been working around the clock since Mr. Bagzarian's kidnapping a week ago from his house at North Ryde. Now, a trail of evidence, they say, has led them to the Dural area, which is on the northwestern fringe of Sydney. And they zeroed in on this particular property, which they said was suspicious. It had been derelict and believed abandoned for some years now. They swooped in on that property last night and found evidence that suggests that that had been the base for the captors, and that it appeared that Mr. Bagzarian had been there at some point. They also mentioned a disturbing video that's been circulating, a sort of a ransom type video, and that the content of that video and the locations appears to be consistent with this property. Let's have a little bit more of a listen to Detective Acting Superintendent Andrew Marks.
That location is in
Acting Superintendent Andrew Marks from New South Wales Police also appealing to people in the Dural area, if they've seen anything suspicious over the last 7 days, to please contact Crime Stoppers. Given that property had been abandoned and derelict for some time, they say if neighbours or anyone in the area had seen anyone moving in and out of that area or anyone that just seemed a bit out of the ordinary, to contact Crime Stoppers. The ABC's also spoken with some people in the area. Let's have a listen to what they have had to say.
I haven't seen anyone. It's covered with trees, so you can't really see much, and I've just moved into the area. But yeah, a lot of police around, and yeah, something big's happened. I mean, some people are quite close in this street, so they do hang out, but nothing from that property. So yeah.
Interesting. Tell us, Gavin, what update did police give on Mr. Bagzarian himself?
Well, given Mr. Bagzarian has been missing for 7 days now, and given his advanced age, he's 85 and requires daily medication, police say, given all those factors, they have very grave concerns about his welfare and that hope is fading that he is alive, but that the sole focus of this continues to be to find him, bring him home to his family and get him that medication he needs. They say this has been a significant, given them inroads on this investigation, the discovery of this property. They'll continue combing through.
Sorry about that. My mouse is broken, so each time I click something, it'll either not click it or it'll close tabs for random reasons. I don't know why. I tried cleaning it last night with alcohol and it didn't help. So we're probably going to have to replace that next week. But yeah, every time I click a tab, it'll either not open the tab or it just shuts it down. So if that happens again, that's why it is happening. It's just, I think we've clicked it so many times over the years, it is just worn out. Gayla said, have we talked about that area before? Yeah, Dural. So last year they found a caravan there full of explosives, and it is the same area, not the same street, but the same suburb. And that's where there has been some links to organized crime in the area over the last 24 months. So it's strange that these guys connected to organized crime with a kidnap victim knew about a derelict property randomly in a similar location as what happened last year. So I don't know how that's connected, but it is a bit odd, and we'll have to wait and find out. But right now we're just sort of back to square one, and now they're going to have to find out what happened after that. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this the other day. This is a couple of screenshots from that video that they were talking about. And as you can see, that is Mr. Bagzarian's hand. And as you can tell, even though it is censored, that he has had a finger amputated. That is what those videos allege, is that they have hurt and tortured that 85-year-old man. So, hey Rick, what's up? Sounds like we are working towards RFID chips for the safety of the people. Well, I don't think we should do that. Montana said somebody associated with the area. Right. How would you know about this random dilapidated property that you could just break into and take a kidnap victim? It's like someone would have to have intimate knowledge of that particular street. Like, it's not something you could just come across. You wouldn't be driving around Sydney going, hey, we just kidnapped an 85-year-old. We got to find a derelict property to torture him in. It's like they already knew about it. And maybe that is, um, some investigative avenue that they can look into. Who would know of that property? Does it have any connection to other people in organized crime? Do any homes nearby have any familial association with anyone in organized crime? Are the properties owned by anyone that is involved in it? Like, there has to be a way they knew about that property. So maybe they can track them down that way. Not a lot of blood, that normally means heart not beating. Apparently, there is another part of the video where you can see the floor, and the floor is absolutely covered in blood, like drenched. So this particular photo doesn't show it, but apparently, see what happened? It did it again. Bastard of a thing. Hold on, guys. It's so annoying. Gonna have to put a new mouse on the shopping list for next week. Here, let's go here. I think we just used it too many times and it wore out. we we just, I think it's the rubber or whatever, the thing underneath the button has just worn off. Lisa said cutting off the finger is serious. It would be to a man that old who is most likely on, well, they said he has to have daily medication like Nancy Guthrie. So maybe, he could have been on a blood thinner. A lot of 85-year-olds are on some sort of blood thinner daily, and that might have not helped. So really awful. The fact that, I just don't get why they would torture a guy who they weren't even looking for, or just to send a message, or just to tell the other guy that they didn't get, hey, this could be you. Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? It really doesn't. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait. I don't know what's going to happen here. It's concerning. Concerning that apparently now it's just okay to abduct elderly people, not only in Australia, but also in America. Apparently that's what people are doing now. To have two people across, the opposite ends of the world happen within the same time frame is a bit remarkable, isn't it? Better than being blocked out of your kitchen by a washing machine. You got to fight it. You got to fight it. It's like when you get a bull in a China store. You got to fight it. You got to fight the washing machine. Don't let it control you. You control the washing machine, okay? Don't let it take you for a walk. You take it for a walk, all right? Don't give in to it. They know, they can feel fear. Washing machines can sense fear. Don't show it that you're scared. You'll be all right. Eventually you'll get control of it. Okay, all right. So the big story today, and I know everyone wants to keep talking about it, is Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. And I love this photo that's been going around. It is in our thumbnail, and I'm going to show you why. Here he is. He looks very happy on his birthday, right? Very happy. Looks like he's having a great old time on his birthday. They're like, get the shot so we can see up his nose. There you go. The most intimate shot of him you'll ever see in your life. Telephoto zoom up his nostril. There you go. Yeah, he looks thrilled. He looks thrilled that he had a great birthday, had many gifts. He even went on an adventure. He went to a police station and was questioned. They took him in, sat him down, got him a drink, asked him a lot of questions. I mean, you know, you can't even pay for that experience on your birthday. I think he's had a great day. Lisa said, "The look in the eyes makes me happy." He looks like he's like, "How did I end up here?" And the question is, the answer is simple, because you're a nonce. That's why, because you associated with scumbags, just like your wife Fergie. You're both shit people. You both are. Andrew's a shit person. Fergie's a shit individual. You're both scumbags. They will do anything for money. Fergie would do anything. She was taking money off off of you know, I've got a mental blank now. But she was taking money off him to bankroll her lifestyle. She'd been trapped in, if you don't know the story about around her, she had been hitting up famous people and rich men ever since her and Andrew separated 30 years ago. She had been caught hitting up people for cash all the time, to the point where I'm pretty sure it was like a newspaper, were able to trick her and had her on camera trying to sell access to the royal family for cash. And they're horrible. She is, he is. They deserve the worst because they are the worst. And I don't think anyone feels sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for Andrew. I don't feel sorry for Fergie. Um, did you see the thing in the paper? Hold on, Fergie. There was this thing here about like how she feels so alone and how she doesn't know what she's going to do. What have you been doing over your entire life of being rich and famous and having more access to everything in the world than the common person? And you get to this point and you have nothing. How is that possible that you've pissed it all away throughout your life? How is it that you don't own any property? How is it that you don't have funds put away? I mean, you certainly were taking money off every Tom, Dick, and Harry that would give it to you, and that could be a double entendre. Um, yeah, she says here, former Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, blames herself for ex-husband Prince Andrew's downfall. Okay, way to make it all about you. I don't know if you could have stopped your nonce of a husband or ex-husband from diddling children. Do you think that somehow you could have stopped that? Do you think that somehow that would have been a possibility? Do you think maybe if you accompanied him on the trips that you could have stopped him from doing that? I don't think so. You're just as complicit as he is. You were taking cash from Epstein for almost 20 years. Like, what does that say about you? It says, I think it speaks for itself, really. They're both don't deserve the privilege that they grew up with or married into, and I don't think anyone feels sorry for them, even in the slightest. I heard she's off living somewhere in like Dubai at a friend's apartment in a resort or something. And it's like, do you see? Do you see why people don't feel sorry for you? It's funny. Juicy Jill says 17 is old enough in the UK and New York. Wow. We'll see. You know, we all know the story behind Epstein. We don't know if uh Gouffre was the only one or just the one that spoke up. We'll never know. We'll never know whether there was 400 of them or one. You know, you read through some of those emails and it makes you almost think that there might have been more. Rick says, remember the I can't read that out, that escaped out the window at the castle. I don't remember that one. Hold on, who is emailing me? Give me a sec. What? Oh, okay. Give me 1 second, guys. I have to fix something for Mrs. Ping. Hold on. Hold on. All right, there we go. Yeah, age of consent is 16. Kim says, Dewey, I heard stuff today that was so disgusting. I mean, I think they're both disgusting. Do you guys remember the old interview with Fergie? The one where she was she was gonna do something with toes. But let's talk about the charge that he could actually be done with. That charge in the UK doesn't have a top line on it. It's sort of like some of the charges we've dealt with in Australia, where it's at the discretion of the sentencing judge. So, look, most times an official who gets charged with or if Andrew gets charged with it, if he is charged with it and goes to court or trial, he's not going to jail for the rest of his life. That is sort of the top line thing that can be given to someone, but that is not what's going to happen. Most of the time, when people are charged with this crime, they are given suspended sentence, community service, a fine, all that type of it's very, you don't get very much. They just go naughty boy or girl and slap you on the wrist. Diane said, I thought what I knew about Epstein was bad, but the stuff that has been coming out lately has me flawed. It's not great, is it? Kim says, no one else heard cannibalism rumors. I don't think I heard about cannibalism. He'd probably do 4 years probation. It is not going to be very much. He is still, as much as his title says he is not, he is still a royal. And it doesn't matter what titles they take away and what they call him, he's still part of the royal family, and they are not going to send him to prison. He would have to be charged with something a lot worse than what's this one? I can't remember the full name of it. It's like when he was acting on behalf of the government, he basically, did misdeeds. I think, you would have to be charged with something so much more severe. It's a very flimsy type charge. It's not something that'll get him jail time. Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, let's go here. Let me get the full name of it. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, suspicion of misconduct in public office. That is the full title of it. And if we look up what other examples have been for that, yeah, it's basically like an abuse of the public trust with no reasonable excuse, no valid justification for the actions that were done. What could it be? I think it can be like life in prison, but it's not going to be. Yeah. Most custodial sentences range from a few months to several years depending on the gravity of the breach, but that is for like other people, not him. And it'll be depending on the degree of the abuse of trust and whether there was any financial gain and the sensitivity of the information involved and the harm caused to the public interest. They will be the factors that will be decided. So I would think, he has no past history. It's not like he can go into the thing and they can rattle off 20 other things he has been charged with. So it's a first time offense. He's going to get something like a suspended sentence if they actually charge him at all. Robert says he was passing on market intelligence to Epstein to benefit himself. There was also another guy. There was an investigation in the UK over the last 2 weeks that were looking into a lord. A lord had been involved in something very similar. I will get you who that is. Yeah, Lord Peter Mandelson. So there's another investigation looking into him. He leaked sensitive market moving information to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein while serving as a UK government minister. He's sort of like the tie-in to Andrew, and that's the one that I think pushed them to raid him today. He's the one that they were targeting before. Let me just. Someone keeps sending me emails. Okay. All right. Yeah. So he's the one that they were looking into before, and it says here documents released by the U.S. Department of Justice, part of the Epstein files, appear to show that between 2008 and 2009, while serving as the business secretary in Gordon Brown's government, Lord Mandelson passed critical information to Epstein. This included advance notice of a half a trillion dollar euro bailout to save the euro. And they said he also passed on details of UK government plans for a one-off tax on bankers' bonuses and advice that a senior banker should mildly threaten then Chancellor Alistair Darling regarding banking policy. So these are all the things that are being investigated for Mendelssohn. And yeah, that's a big one. Advance notice of I'm guessing that's $500 billion EU bailout. That would move the market a ton if you had that information ahead of time. If you had like information that would affect the euro or the European Union, that would you could make a lot of money on the market from that, from a variety of different ways, because that would information that money would be being pumped into the EU, that would send stock prices going up through the roof. And if you knew which ones to put some money on before this became public, you can make a lot of money. You can make a ton of money. Robert said he lost his job many times before. He fiddled his mortgage when he was an MP before. Not surprising. Not surprising. So, yeah. So him and Andrew both were doing sort of some really undermining of the UK to impress Epstein. Basically, because I think at least in Andrew's one, Andrew was trying to, repay him or um, do things for him because what he had done for him and Fergie and stuff like that. They're just both idiots. Hey, Emmett Jones, how are you? Wall Street scandal was too big to fail, and Epstein files too big to investigate in America. While at least one country has started looking at some of the finer points, at least the UK is moving on some of the information in those files. It shows you at least they're willing to take action if they can at least get some evidence. So we'll have to see what happens with Andrew, but his fall from grace is complete. It is done. He will never, ever be a working royal. Even last year, when they took his titles away and that, he will forever be at Frog. Where is he now? Whatever cottage he's in on Sandringham. He will just be shunted over there. His brother, King Charles, gave in to him and gave him the bigger property. And I wonder if now, after this has become an even bigger firestorm over the last couple of weeks, I wonder if they will make him go live in the tiny cottage that's way, way in the back of the property, because they relented. He was not supposed to be living at the property he's in. Hold on, Andrew. Property Sandringham. I can't remember. There's two. So there's the one that originally he was supposed to go to, they were going to renovate. Yes, Marsh Farm. And then there's the other one, which is Wood Farm. I can't remember which one is which. 5%. I think it might have been Wood Farm, which was the one that they were going to push him into, but they relented and gave him Marsh Farm, which was the place where Prince Philip saw out his older years, before he passed away. And they thought that by giving him the property where Philip used to live would sort of give the wrong impression. But at some point, they let him go there. I wonder if now Charles will actually force him to go to Wood Farm. Wood Farm is further away from the main house. It's way, way back in the property. And it's not like you could just run into Andrew when the rest of the royal family are there during the holidays. So I wonder if, now, after all this, him being pulled in by the cops, I wonder if they just want to put him in like a little tiny cottage and forget he exists. I think they may. Dale said they had already taken a house from him. Yeah, the one in in Buckingham. Yes. So this one he was never supposed to be in anyway, but he kept begging his brother for it, and eventually his brother went, "Oh, just let him have it," and they gave it to him. But they were already renovating Wood Farm for him. I don't know why they eventually let him go, but they did let him go to the other one, the bigger property, Marsh Farm. All right, I want to show you an update. Let's go. Let's go over here. Andrew. But yeah, it is Ping's opinion that neither of these people are good people. They're both trash bags. And Andrew and Fergie deserve everything they get. Everything. They are slimy, awful people. Yeah.
Former Prince Andrew has been arrested at his Sandringham estate. The King's brother, who is now known as Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, has been released in just the past half hour. You can see a photo there of him leaving the police station. He is being investigated on suspicion of misconduct in public office amid questions over his relationship with the late sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein.
King Charles, who was not told about the arrest in advance, has released a statement saying the law must take its course. We're going to have lots of reaction this morning, starting with Europe correspondent Catherine Diss, who's outside Sandringham Estate. Catherine, good morning to you. What's the latest?
Good morning, Emma. Well, look, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor has just been released from police custody in Norfolk. He has been photographed. A rather unflattering photo shows him trying to crouch behind a car seat as he leaves the police station. You can see the snappers lined up behind me, waiting to capture a shot as he returns home tonight. We've received a statement from Thames Valley Police. They have confirmed he's been released from custody. They've also said that their searches at the property behind me have concluded, but that
Sounded like the audio was cutting in and out. Sorry about that. Juicy Jill says maybe he can go to Scotland on an ankle monitor. Maybe, like he's a criminal. I mean, he is well, in some ways, if he's not a criminal, he's just a dirty scumbag, which I think if you flick through the Epstein files, I think it makes it pretty clear that Andrew had no problem rubbing shoulders with him even after it came out that he had been indicted for sex crimes against young people. And I think the fact that Andrew tried to lie about it. So Andrew previously claimed to have cut ties with Epstein in December of 2010, but the files that have come out have contradicted that. He sent an email to Epstein on Christmas Day in 2010 and had a homemade family message within. And then in 2011, there was correspondence between February and March of 2011, Andrew telling Epstein to keep in close touch and instructing him to ensure legal denials were sent to tabloids regarding the SA allegations against him. I mean, there you go. So they were like two peas in a pod. And then there was a new photo that came out, if you haven't seen it, this one here. And I think it demonstrates a lot about him. Here, let's go here. You know, they used to call him Randy Andy. And I think it's an apt name for him. Randy Andy, the SA Prince. Oh, sorry, ex-Prince. So, yeah, Mr. I Don't Sweat. That was the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard in an interview where they're like, "Oh, Gouffre described that you were sweaty and all this stuff," and he's like, "Oh, I don't sweat." Like, okay, buddy, why did you take this interview? Did you take it just to look dumb? Because you do. So yeah, that's a frightening photo, and I think there's possibly more victims of Andrews, but I don't know if we'll ever find out. Lisa said, I wish Virginia was here to see it. I hope she is watching from wherever she is. What's really sad is a couple of days ago, her manner of death was released accidentally, but it was released. I don't know if you saw that, but it was leaked inadvertently to the public, and it is now known how she died, which is really, really sad. Callie Girl said, I'm going to go out on a limb and say she looks underage no matter what country you're talking about. That person underneath him looks like a child. Does not look like a grown woman. Looks like, I don't know if it is, but it looks like a child. Sean says, sweating, that's not the problem, Andy boy. Yeah, it's the other thing. It's the you know, the association with a criminal who preys on young people, and then you lying about it, and then everyone wondering, what else don't we know about what you did with Epstein when you went to visit him? And, you know, in the emails, if you read them when he talks to Jeffrey, he's so all over him like a lovesick teenage girl. He's like, "Oh, Andy." Oh, not Andy. He's like, "Jeffrey this, Jeffrey that. Oh my God, when will you be in town? I'm gonna be here. Should we meet up? Let's have some fun together again." Like he's all over him, like as if he's never had a friend before. Yeah, I know, because there was an article out today saying Epstein was basically funding their lifestyle. Yeah, Sarah Ferguson linked to companies close to Epstein revelations, and there is some suggestion that Sarah Ferguson was being given money all the time for living expenses, and like we're not talking about like $5, we're talking like millions of dollars from Epstein to Ferguson. Let's see. Fergie allegedly begged Jeffrey Epstein for house assistant job. All right. They say an email correspondence with convicted SO Jeffrey Epstein allegedly showed the former Duchess of York begging for a house assistant job because she desperately needed the cash. In a newly released email, one of millions of documents released by the US, she says, "But why? I don't understand. Why don't you just get me to be your house assistant? I am the most capable and desperately need the money. Please, Jeffrey, think about it. It just doesn't surprise me. Fergie has been like a cash vacuum her entire life. Her entire life. Can you change the photo, please? There is a different photo. It's now writing. She has been a cash vacuum her entire life. Here, Fergie. And this is probably the big one that she was known about when she was trying to sell access to the royal family and her ex-husband. She is just as gross as her husband or ex-husband. The toe-sucking photo that drove Sarah Ferguson out of the royal family. And there you go. There you go. There's Fergie getting her toe sucked on holiday. And they say the intimate pictures shot with a telephoto lens as the couple lays by the pool show Texas millionaire John Bryan kissing and sucking the Duchess's toes in the arch of her foot. There you go. Fergie stolen. But this was right around the time, actually, I think this was a little later, that she got caught selling access. Yeah, in 2010, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, was secretly recorded by an undercover reporter from News of the World, no longer around, offering to sell access to her former husband, Prince Andrew, for £500,000. It just goes with her vibe. She will do anything and everything to get cash. She accepted £40,000 as a down cash payment during the meeting with the reporter. You know, if that's what she got caught for, what did she not get caught for? Because I'm guessing this is not the only time that she tried to sell access to the royal family. I don't know, sell access to her body, the everything. She just, I don't know why she was going through cash like so fast or for so often, but it's almost like her and Andrew lived a lifestyle that they couldn't maintain, and neither of them had done an honest day's work ever. So I don't know what she was doing to get money for many years. I wish I had those undercover tapes. I don't know if I do. Let me see if I have it. I don't, but there is a photo of her when they caught her back in the day. There you go. News of the World exclusive, where they caught her trying to arrange private access to Andrew in exchange for £500,000. Sean said she sells stories one at a time. It's no wonder Epstein doesn't want her around. Yeah, I wonder about that and why he was so keen to bankroll her lifestyle. All right, hold on. Sorry, guys. I thought Mrs. Ping was here. Yeah, I don't understand what the attraction was to Fergie to bankroll her lifestyle. I don't really get it. Um, and then we all know the other one that Sarah Ferguson offered women. This mouse is doing my head in. Sarah Ferguson offered Jeffrey Epstein women with great women with great body after release from prison. So she's a pimp. She's now a pimp. Okay. They say in one message, the former British royal appeared to offer the convicted SO the opportunity to meet a woman with a great body. Sarah Ferguson told him she knew of a single woman with a great body he should meet weeks after his 2009 release from prison. her message goes on to say, well, okay, well, marry me and then we will employ her. See, she's always angling for cash. The only reason she wanted anything to do with Epstein is because he had money. And they say while the email address it was sent from is redacted in the file, the contact is listed as Sarah. Other emails in the files from the same address are clearly communications from the former royal. There you go. She was even trying to arrange women for him. Yeah, I just want to find out the other bit about. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein secretly funded Sarah Ferguson for 15 years, according to an email. They say in an email to a friend that has emerged in the Epstein files and has been seen by the newspaper, the American financier said he began financially supporting the former Duchess of York in 1996, the year she divorced Andrew. On March 7, 2011, Ferguson told the London Evening Standard that accepting £15,000 from Epstein to settle debts was a giant error of judgment. But that evening, Epstein wrote to a friend, the Duchess that I have financially helped for 15 years said she wants nothing to do with a PDF file and a SO. It has caused quite a stir. It just shows you how deeply linked these two really were. Like, you don't just give millions of dollars for, almost 2 decades for no reason. You don't just hand over that money no matter how rich you might be, like Jeffrey Epstein or other people, just because you like the person. You're like, oh, I like that Ferguson woman. Let me give her millions of dollars for 20 years. I don't think so. So, hey, good to see you. Hold on, Justine. We're back. Hey, Justine, how are you? I just got to turn on my aircon. Good to see you. Good to see you. I cap because I'm dyslexic and I can see my letter bettering. Sorry, that's okay. You can type in caps. No worries. Good to see you. Glad to have you here. Where were we up to before I let Mrs. Ping in? Betsy. Hey, Betsy, how are you? I've been watching from my tablet and can't text. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good night. This is what I was saying. Yeah, I think it shows you there's probably a lot more that we just don't know about in between Andrew Epstein and Sarah Ferguson. I think they all come from the same swamp, and I think they all have very similar personality traits. They're all scumbags. They'd all do anything for money, including Sarah and Andrew, even though Andrew's brother financially looks after him. And I don't feel sorry for them at all. Like Sarah Ferguson crying over, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Why don't you keep selling whatever you have to people that you've been doing for the last 25 years? Yeah, so these two, hopefully, this is the end for both of them. Hopefully, we'll never have to deal with them anymore. Yeah, I'm trying to find the bit where, yeah, spare a thought for Duchess Ferguson or whatever they call her now. Right, royal victim Duchess Fergie. It's been another hellacious week for her. They're saying here that she didn't know what to do, and that she was having to contact friends to try and bum a couch to sleep on. And it's like, what have you been doing with your life? You just been pissing money against the wall for no reason. It's bizarre. I would have thought they would have owned half the houses in the UK. She told the Evening Standard in 2011 that I abhor PDF files and any essay of children, and know that it was a gigantic error of judgment on my behalf. I am just so contrite. I cannot say that she promised to have nothing to ever to do with Jeffrey ever again. Really? Okay, you and your husband seem to be great liars. This here. Yeah, Epstein had given her money. Of course, she says 15 grand. Then again, she says a lot of things. The Duchess's debts were reported to be as high as £5 million in 2011 because she always spent money, other people's money, like water, and has claimed this long-term trait was a mental illness. How is spending other people's money and running up debt a mental illness? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't stop spending like a poker machine. Yeah, so with Mr. Mountbatten-Windsor now possibly facing court, will we all just, take a moment and think about the real victim in all of this? Sarah Ferguson. She's obviously the real victim in in all of this. Sorry, I couldn't say it with a straight face. Yeah, she is not a victim, even though she will play that card, I'm guessing, for another several years. But yeah, Randy Andy finally actually getting some sort of legal repercussions for his association and what he did to Virginia Giuffre. It's been years and years of speculation of would he ever face any sort of charges, but it seems like these charges are not a direct, not a direct thing about what he did to Virginia. I don't know if we'll ever see that. Possibly not. Kim said, "What did she do with 19 million pounds?" I don't know. Betsy said, "Go back to represent Weight Watchers." Did she used to represent Weight Watchers? I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh, really? Um. Oh, really? Jenny Craig, apparently, Mrs. Ping says. Justine says, I am shocked. Epstein gave Sarah 19 million pounds, right? Well, what did she do with it? 19 million pounds for normal people, we'd be living the high life for literally the rest of our lives. And it's not like these two ever paid any rent at the property they were living at in Buckingham Palace. They were basically living there for free. So what were they doing with it? And now it's not like they own any money or property because she's been saying, I don't know, I don't have anywhere to live. And so where did all that cash go? That's a lot of money. Betsy said, thank you, Mrs. Ping. Say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone.
You sound like one of those cartoon characters. Hi, everybody. You have a fun day today? Yeah. Did you beat some people? Did you beat some people at your customer service? You're just smacking the phone on the thing. Get off my phone. Is that what you do?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what she does. When people call her and she doesn't like it, she just smacks the phone on the desk. Get off my phone. Right? Yeah, she says it's customer service. I think she's very happy that it's the weekend and that she doesn't have to get up early. You're gonna sleep in tomorrow? She says yes. We'll do a live show during the day tomorrow, not so late at night for everyone. So we'll be on probably pretty early. I'm not sure what time, but probably pretty early. What time we're gonna get? I don't know. She doesn't know. Laura says hello, Mrs. Ping. Yeah, everyone says hello. You know, I really honestly believe when she was in hospital that all your guys' well wishes really helped. And I came in and I told her, I know you guys always think you don't believe me, but I would come in every day and tell her all the nice things that people were saying in the chat and all the nice messages that people left on the PayPal. Um, right? Yeah. I would come in and I would send in like whatever people were saying or the nice requests or similar situations people had talked about. I would tell her about it to try and cheer her up when she was in hospital. So, you guys, I honestly believe all your good vibes and prayers and things like that, they all made a difference when she was in hospital. Oh, all right. Yeah. She she just got in trouble because our brand new fridge keeps slamming against the wall because it's got no handle on it and it opens against the wall and she just like flings the door open. It's like that. And I'm like, stop denting the fridge. I'm like, you just bought it. It has to last like 10 years. And you're just like, let's dent it. Let's like break the door in. Yeah, it does have a thing so you can open it the other way. Yeah. Diane said we were worried about her. You should be worried about her right now. She keeps damaging my fridge. Yeah, she would if she had time. She's never here. She like I get to see her for like 1 hour at night, and that's it. I and on the weekends we sleep in, do the live shows, and that's it. Hey Robert, see you later. Good night, mate. Good night. I don't think I have any more updates. I think we talked about the Fergie thing. I just want everyone to know they deserve all of this and that no one should be shocked that eventually something was going to like break and not go into Andrew's favor, and eventually he would have to face some repercussions for his actions. And now finally, I know it's not, I know a lot of people would like to have seen some sort of sex crime charged or something like that to do with Virginia or other people. I don't think we will ever get that. I just don't think it's possible. But at least if he got caught up in this, it would be some comeuppance for Andrew. Like he would have to feel the wrath of actually being charged with something, going to court, being sentenced for a crime. And I know it wouldn't be the charge that everyone likes, but at least it's something for now. And it just shows you that he's not untouchable. He's not untouchable. And eventually it might maybe we'll get another one that we could all, be happy about in for Virginia, but I don't know. It's possible. Never say never, right? Sean said Fergie did Avon. What's Avon? Like makeup and stuff? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Kim says, sounds like me and my hubby usually. Yeah. It's just like the fridge is brand new. Like we just bought it like a couple of months ago. So this one just for some reason bangs against that wall as with the one we had before. Yeah, the other one had a handle. Yeah, this one doesn't have an outside handle. It's got a handle in the door. And she keeps forgetting when you open it to put your arm behind it to stop it. Because she's so used to the old fridge, the white one, where you could just kind of open it and let it go. This one, you can't do that. Yeah, we might have to look into doing the hinge. It's got like a hinge, so you can make it go the other way. So we might have to look into that. All right. What else do we have? Oh, who's buzzing? Who's buzzing? It's Sean. Sean, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate it. You know, I think some people think because they watch on the replay crew that they shouldn't donate to the channel, but you should, because I'll still read it out for you the next night. I always do, even with people that donate. There's some people that do it in the morning or overnight. I always read it out the next day for them. So don't think that I won't and I'm going to forget about you. I will. All right. Let me see if I got any other updates. Yes, I got one more story that I want to talk about in North Dakota because this is gruesome. You guys want a gruesome story? Because this one is pretty gruesome. Let's go out to North Dakota into the Valley News Live.
This is Valley News Live at 4.
This is a crime that is hard to imagine someone could commit, but we believe this is exactly what's happened.
Thank you very much for joining us here on Valley News Live at 4. I'm Duke Schindler, and we begin tonight with breaking news as newly filed court documents are shedding light on what happened to 25-year-old Isadora Wangle. The documents became available this afternoon, just hours after official charges were filed against 21-year-old Joshua Haidt. Now, we want to warn you, details are disturbing. Now, Haidt faces charges of murder, tampering with evidence, and providing false information to law enforcement. Forensic evidence strongly links suspect Joshua Alexander Haidt to her death. DNA matching Wangle was found on multiple items from Haidt's apartment. That includes blood on a bathroom mat and plastic sheeting. Most disturbingly, human bone and tissue matching Wangle's DNA was recovered from a saw blade found at the scene. Wangle was last seen January 3rd, and her body has not yet been located. Investigators say Haidt's account of her disappearance is contradicted by video. His phone also showed suspicious Google searches for Sawzall and junk removal. Fargo police are now asking the public for help locating a specific black tote. Police believe that tote that you see on the screen may be connected to the disposal of Wangle's body. And we are learning that the community is coming together to help find Isadora. According to a recently made group, folks are looking to search.
Yeah, let me stop it there and I'll take you through it. Give me a sec. If I can get this to work. So Isadora, they believe that she is missing, and that the missing woman's boyfriend dismembered her body with tools he had door-dashed to his apartment. His name is Joshua, and he's 21 years old, carried her body across state lines into Minnesota inside a plastic tote bag. There you go. They said, we believe, based on the investigation thus far, that Isadora was heinously murdered, and we, meaning the police department, collectively have probable cause to believe that Joshua, her boyfriend, is the person who murdered and tampered with evidence related to the disposal of her body. We believe this to be a heinous and diabolical crime, and we believe that there may be some dismemberment involved. Court documents say that the state crime lab found blood matching her DNA on several items seized from found her DNA on several items seized from his apartment and found in surrounding areas, including the bathroom mat, plastic sheeting, medical gauze, and towels. The documents also said debris found on a 12-inch Sawzall blade found at the scene was a mixture of mixed array of human bone, skeletal muscle, and tissue. And they said the DNA profile matched the missing woman. Joshua claims to have dropped off his girlfriend at her apartment on the morning of January 5, but surveillance footage shows that she was not in his vehicle at the time he said he was driving her home. The document said a search of his phone found some disturbing Google searches on January 4, including Home Depot Sawzall, DoorDash, junk removal near me. We'll give you a junk removal, but not the type that you were looking for. Dumpster. He also made multiple searches for how to register for a legal alias. When detectives found overflowing dumpsters at his apartment complex, investigators began searching for evidence and found a Halloween costume belonging to Wendell, belonging to her, black garbage bags with bloody plastic sheeting, and the Sawzall blade. They further found a Home Depot receipt dated January 4 for the Sawzall reciprocating saw, clear plastic sheeting, extra large trash bags, duct tape, a carbide saw blade, and these items were delivered by DoorDash around 10:30 a.m. that morning. They say police believe he drove to the Otter Tail County, Minnesota, in a Subaru Impreza, carrying her remains in a 27-gallon storage box, and that it was the tote that may have been, and that they recovered a tote that they found that was covered or placed in a low-lying area. They say, based on the fact that we know the disposal of her body occurred in extremely cold weather with significant snow on the ground, we now find ourselves in the midst of a midwinter thaw, which may reveal her whereabouts. So they sort of know where he took her body, but they can't find her because there's been a lot of snowfall. So they think that possibly her body has been covered up with snow. So they can't find her. So they're asking people to try and look for her and try and bring her home. So Isadora Wangle, hopefully if and yes, he's been charged with her murder, just so there's no you know, miscommunication about that. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can get you to an update about the search for her remains. Yeah, let's go to
So the news conference in Fargo is underway.
Yep.
The arrest of 21-year-old Joshua Haidt of Fargo for murder. This involves 25-year-old Isadora Wangle of West Fargo, who was last seen New Year's Eve and reported missing then a week later. So we're going to listen into the news conference about this murder arrest in Fargo.
The evidence leading to establishment of the probable cause and arrest, I feel, is strong. Collectively, we all feel it's strong, and the investigation into his culpability will continue even post-arrest. However, in order to bring closure and justice to the family, we need to recover Isadora's body, and we're going to ask again for the public's assistance in doing so. As I said, we believe this to be a heinous and diabolical crime, and we believe that there may be some dismemberment involved. What we're asking the public to do, from Fargo to Moorhead to Fergus, Battle Lake, in Otter Tail County, is the following. Based on the fact that we know the disposal of her body occurred in extremely cold weather with significant snow on the ground, we now find ourselves in the midst of a midwinter thaw, which may reveal her whereabouts. We know that Mr. Haidt had sent and received a specific type of black tote, shown here on the screen. There was actually 2 of these delivered to his apartment. Only one was recovered during the search warrant on January 9th. We're asking community members in these areas to search their properties, especially those in rural areas near roadways throughout this area we've described, for any sign of this type of tote or any sign of Isadora. We certainly don't want anyone to endanger themselves during this endeavor, but simply if they're able to do that, check their properties, And if they observe anything, this type of a tote or something they suspect to be potentially Isadora, notify the authorities and we will take it from there. Going forward, this case will continue to be challenging, but we're committed to justice for the family and accountability for the perpetrator. Again, the uniqueness of the case at this juncture without having the actual body of the victim creates some difficulties that we would not normally have to overcome. But I would say based on really, really outstanding and tremendous investigative work, we've gotten to the point where we're able to make an arrest and we feel we have a strong case to move forward. But we will continue to need these other pieces, and we'd really appreciate the public's assistance on this next piece. People.
You know, the way he dumped her reminds me of Peaches. Peaches was dumped in a, well, part of her was dumped in a Tupperware container, if you remember that one. And she was dumped in like a snap-lock tub, very similar to that. So like he said, there is a thaw, like a winter thaw going on with the snow in the area. And they're sort of asking for people to try and look for her body, even though they believe she may have been dismembered. I'm just trying to see if I can find you a photo of this poor girl. Come on, mouse. Let's go. Yes. Here's a couple of photos of the both of them. Here's on the right there, that is Joshua. On the left, that is Isabella. And yeah, they are desperately trying to locate what happened to her remains, even though they sort of know what happened, they just don't know where. And they would like to track down her remains. Come on. My mouse, I swear to God, I'm going to throw it across the room. Let's go. I wanted to show you the mugshot from it. Yeah. Come on. There we go. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Open image. There we go. That's better. There's the mugshot of Joshua. And, you know, it's funny when you look at these mugshots of people who are accused of these heinous type crimes, you go, they don't look ever remorseful, do they? I don't think I've seen one where they're breaking down in tears and they're super emotional because of what they've, you know, had to expunge to the detectives about what they've done. And, you know, they're finally being caught for their awful crime. He looks like he's a stunned mullet that you've pulled out of the water while fishing. It's like pulled out this fish out of water and they're like, that's the view of the fish's face. That's exactly what they look like, stunned. Oh my God, am I not the, you know, serial killer of the century? How did they catch me? How did they catch me being the last person to see my girlfriend alive? How did they ever know it was me? Yeah, he looks like he's about to go and leave and go to Starbucks to pick up a coffee and go home and play video games. So this poor girl, her remains are out there somewhere. Where? They're not 100% sure. Here, just let me double check if this is...
Sent and received a specific type of black tote.
Yeah.
The arrest based on probable cause is merely the first step in that legal process. In terms of next steps, this is a very unique case. The evidence leading to establishment of the probable cause and arrest, I feel, is strong, Collectively, we all feel it's strong, and the investigation into his culpability will continue even post-arrest. However, in order to bring closure and justice to the family, we need to recover Isadora's body, and we're going to ask again for the public's assistance in doing so. As I said, we believe this to be a heinous and diabolical crime, and we believe that there may be some dismemberment involved. What we're asking the public to do, from Fargo to Moorhead to Fergus, Battle Lake in Otter Tail County, is the following. Based on the fact that we know the disposal of her body occurred in extremely cold weather with significant snow on the ground, we now find ourselves in the midst of a midwinter thaw, which may reveal her whereabouts. We know that Mr. Height had sent and received a specific type of black tote, shown here on the screen. There was actually 2 of these delivered to his apartment. Only one was recovered during the search warrant on January 9th. We're asking community members in these areas to search their properties, especially those in rural areas near roadways throughout this area we've described, for any sign of this type of tote or any sign of Isadora. We certainly don't want anyone to endanger themselves during this endeavor, but simply if they're able to do that, check their properties, and if they observe anything, this type of a tote or something they suspect to be potentially Isadora, notify the authorities, and we will take it from there. Going forward, this case will continue to be challenging, but we're committed to justice for the family and accountability for the perpetrator. Again, the uniqueness of the case at this juncture, without having the actual body of the victim, creates some difficulties that we would not normally have to overcome. But I would say, based on really outstanding and tremendous investigative work, we've gotten to the point where we're able to make an arrest, and we feel we have a strong case to move forward. But we will continue to need these other pieces, and we'd really appreciate the public's assistance on this next piece. People have been tremendous in sending us video. All of those things that have happened over the last 35 days have been significant in making progress in this investigation. So please, in terms of the public, help us help the family in this heinous incident so that we can bring it to full fruition. In terms of how to manage tips, if you're in the Fargo-Moorhead metro area, serviced by the Red River Regional Dispatch Center, all those entities out there. So I think obviously he was a strong person of interest, and the work that's been done over the last 35 days developed that probable cause, which puts us in a position to make that arrest.
All right, let me tell you some other things from this genius guy. Genius. This guy might be the smartest person alive. Let me tell you more about it. This guy. Sorry, I can't help but laugh at idiots, even though it's a very sad crime and there's no need for that girl to be dead. But here, Joshua allegedly accessed Isabella's phone from January 4 to January 5 and sent unusual Snapchat photos of ceilings and walls of his apartment to her mother and another contact. Brilliant. That'll confuse them. They're saying Isabella's relatives then told investigators that the photos were odd and not common photographs they would receive from Isabella. The boyfriend also claimed he saw Isabella January 5 when he allegedly dropped her off at her home. Surveillance footage, however, indicated that Isabella was not in the vehicle. And then they recovered a Home Depot receipt on the same day, also showed the purchase of that Sawzall and that these other items, extra large trash bags, black duct tape, and clear plastic sheeting, like he's Dexter, like he thinks he's Dexter from TV. Got to get that clear plastic sheeting, set up my house as if I'm Dexter, and that was delivered by DoorDash. What an absolute dumbass. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to commit a murder and a dismemberment. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it easy for investigators. I'm going to order it through DoorDash with a receipt and pay for it with a credit card. Brilliant. You should be on Dexter. You should be actually probably one of his victims because he would laugh at how incompetent you are as a killer. Yeah, who knew you could DoorDash a murder kit? No, I know, right? Hey, I'm surprised it doesn't flag something like plastic sheeting, black duct tape, trash bags, chlorine, bleach. I'm surprised it doesn't like automatically send it to police or something. By the way, there was a really pretty photo of her here. Where is it? I'd rather show you that because it's nice to remember people when they look their best, right? There's her photo with her pretty flower head thing on. It's really cute. There's her photo. What a nice young lady. And they say here, so around his apartment, they found all the things that he bought basically blue latex gloves, bathroom mat, plastic sheeting, medical gauze, towels after dismembering her. He's a clever guy. Keep all the things that you used in the dismemberment. They won't track back to you ever. It's surprising how many people commit these type of like heinous crimes and they do nothing to cover it up. Nothing. They just expect no one to notice her missing and no one to try and find her. Did he just expect they'd just forget that she was ever alive? Yeah, it had medical gauze. I don't know unless he cut himself while trying to cut up her body, which is what I was thinking. I was like, maybe he had medical gauze because of like maybe trying to cut her up, he cut himself. Bone is very sharp. And if he was cutting through bone and then trying to handle it, he may have cut himself. He faces charge of murder and evidence tampering after an investigation by regional law enforcement agencies. Yeah, but they're still looking for her. And if I put this on the screen, there's a jumper or what would you guys call it? A sweater. There's a sweater that they're trying to find. It's this pink and white knitted sweater. And she was last seen wearing a white cardigan with pink hearts, believed to be the Taylor Swift Lover cardigan, blue jeans, and either white Air Force One shoes or Ugg boots. Let me see if I can find a better copy of that. That's a bad copy. Isabella. Come on. Let's go. All right, let me see if I can find a more HD copy of that one with the jumper in it. All the ones I got are like really poor quality. No. I can't find the one with the. Yeah, let's see if we can find it. I want the one with the jumper. Aha, there we go. Found it. Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's not good quality either. What's going on with these photos? Hold on, guys. I'll get it eventually. Finally. There we go. All right. So it's this cardigan, the Taylor Swift Lover cardigan with the pink hearts. It's really cute. Mrs. Ping, you'd probably love this cardigan. It's like a white cardigan with pink love hearts all over it. and it's got like pink outlines around the different parts of it. Mrs. Ping would love that. So there's photos of her. There's that really unique cardigan that they would like to try and find. So they believe that she was wearing that, and that might be a clue to find her. Like if you go around and you might find her, you might find that lying somewhere. That might be a way to identify her without looking too much, because we're talking about someone who might have been dismembered. So we don't want you touching anything or moving anything. It could be a crime scene, but that's a pretty distinct jumper. So let's hope they bring her home. Isabella, really awful case. I don't love bringing you these type of cases. Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. They also have a map. There's his car, right? And this is the vehicle they said they could not see. He said he dropped her home, but they have footage and there's only him in the car that you can see. And that's his vehicle. So they're asking if anyone has this on dash cam or any other type of CCTV. His license plate, North Dakota 592 ETF. And this red square here, this is the area where they think her remains might be in, I think. So southwest Otter Tail County, Minnesota. That's where they're sort of looking for her body throughout here. That's a big region. It's not a small place to try and find someone who might have been dismembered. It's going to be a tough search. Kim said, I don't like that these cases exist. Me either. What an awful human being that loser is. Let me see what else I can find. Any updates about it? Any updates about a search for her? I'm just trying to see if there is one for you. I don't see like whether they're running one this weekend or not. I would have thought they would have, but apparently no. Oh, also this community advisory, verify before you share. We are aware of a false rumor circulating that Isadora's remains have been located in Otter Tail County, Minnesota. That information is not accurate. We ask that you please rely on official updates from our department and share verified information only. At this time, Isadora's remains have not been located. The investigation remains active and we continue to ask for the police's or continue to ask for the public's assistance. So, yeah, she has not been located and they are still searching for her. So, did I say Isabella? Isadora. Sorry, I don't know why. Maybe I am dyslexic tonight. Maybe I am dyslexic. Isadora. Fucking ping, seriously. Sorry about that. I don't know why that name got trapped in my head. Sometimes that happens, unfortunately. When you read as much information as we read on these live shows throughout like 2 hours, sometimes it all gets a little mushy. Sometimes words and things just lose their like meaning and reception in your brain. So I'm sorry about that. It's Isadora. Isadora with a D, not Isabella. Isadora. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, they're trying to look for her. There's no update on whether they're actually going to go search again. I don't see anything about a search this weekend. If they're talking about, here we go. There is a search. Good. It was last weekend. They ran their second volunteer search for Isadora in the Battle Lake area. More than 100 people showed up in Fargo this weekend to look for a plastic tote and any other signs of the missing West Fargo woman who police say was murdered in early January. Okay, where's Battle Lake, Minnesota? Okay. Where the hell is Battle Lake, Minnesota? Police believe the tote, containing possibly some of her remains, may be somewhere in the Fargo-Moorhead metro area in the Otter Tail County, Minnesota, and specifically the Fergus Falls, Elizabeth, Underwood, and Battle Lake areas, and have encouraged residents in those locations to keep an eye out and inform police if any other evidence related to her disappearance is located. And when you look at like the search terrain, you could understand how if they had a lot of snow and it didn't melt, like imagine trying to find a body or a tote bag in all this. It would be very difficult. So those people searching for her remains, that's very kind, very generous of them to, you know, put themselves forward to try and help another family. It's really kind. And it's not easy search terrain. Look at that. Like if it was under all these weeds or something, you might never see it. If he dug under here and put it under here, you could walk past here like 1,000 times and never see it. So it's not easy. I hope they've tracked her down though. Yeah, like that's like really, if you dug under here into like a burrow, like for some sort of animal, and just shoved it under there, yeah, it might take you a long time to find her. So Isadora, sorry about that. Missy Motormouse said, I bet there's blood on his glasses if they would just test them. They probably have. They probably have taken forensic samples for it. Let me check here. All right. If we get an update for Isadora, I will let you know. I hope that it's not going to be too much longer before they find her and bring her home to her family, but I don't know for sure. She went missing early in January, and it took until a month later to pull enough evidence together to arrest and charge Joshua. So it might be a little bit longer until we can actually bring her home to her family. I mean, yeah. The fact that no one's sort of come across her already, and he's not going to give up her body apparently either because he's a jerk. So, unfortunately, it's going to be on the public and police to try and track her down. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. Let's have a look at this. They're looking for something else too. If I can get it on the screen. Yeah. There's that what is it? A HDX 27-gallon tough storage tote. This is what they're looking for. I don't know why you call this a tote. I thought when they were talking about a tote, they were looking for like a large bag with a strap on it. We wouldn't call this a tote where I live. This is called a storage box. We call these like a storage box, snap lock box, that type of thing. I've never heard this described as a tote. A tote is like a tote bag, like girls wear. But it's a HDX 27-gallon tough storage tote, and it's quite large. 28.6 inches by 19.6 inches by 15.2 inches. So they believe her remains are located in this tote somewhere in the region. No update for Gus Lamont at this time. Missy said, I wonder how Max is doing. Me too. I hope Max is doing good. I haven't heard from Max in a while. I hope he's doing well. Both things are called that in America. I don't think I've ever heard that word for this type of storage tub. I've never heard that called a tote. Like when you use that word for me, I think of all the girls who, use these type of bags that we see. This mouse is pissing me off. Can't open anything. Every time I open something, fucking hell. Come on. I'm gonna have to really gonna have to try fix this again tonight. There. Like that's what I think of when I think of a tote bag, like one of those. Sean said John Wayne Gacy dumped bodies in the river too. One mother had to wait months for the thaw to retrieve her body. True. Gaylor said they say put all the Christmas decorations in the totes. I have never heard that saying in my life. Put all the Christmas decorations in the totes? Okay. I can't say that's ever been in my vocabulary or vernacular. I can't say I've ever heard that phrasing before. You guys, I do American stories year in and year out, and that's the first time I've ever heard that one. I've never heard that before. All right. Before more words turn to mush, I should go because my brain is starting to turn to mush. I will go. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we can do I keep saying it every day, but hopefully we can do an earlier show because I feel like more people can come and hang out. Kim says, you say odd words to us too. Yeah, that is true. I do. They're also called storage totes. I've just never heard it, really. We just call them storage tubs or storage boxes. Never storage totes. Storage bin, yeah. Never heard of a tote. Pray for your hands. I just got saws out of the garage to cut the door. Why do you need to cut a door? Maybe don't do that and protect your hands. All right. I love you all. Sean, thanks for the donation. I appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow and yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you then. Have a great night. Keep wishing awful things for Andrew and Fergie, scumbags of the world. Okay? Those two deserve all the bullshit that gets shoved down their face forever. They're terrible people. All right. Good night. Bye.